let's get into this next video. I hope y'all know Anton Daniels from AntonDaniels.com. That is actually a really cool guy. He's a really cool guy, and I follow his content. So big shout outs to Anton, right? But he was on Fox News, him and another woman. I forget her name at the moment, but she actually killed this interview also. It was a beautiful thing to see them on here speaking about about how they feel about Kamala Harris. Or should I say, in my tune, Kamala hilarious. Because she's always smiling. Look at her. I mean, just look at her. Always giggling, always smiling. But apparently they got something to say. So let's tune into the video and see what's going on out here in these streets.
Joining us now is Stacey Washington, host of Stacey on the Right, SiriusXM Patriot Radio, and Anton Daniels, YouTuber and content creator. Anton, let's start with you. You just went viral for an exchange that you had with a Kamala supporter. Let's watch.
Would you vote for?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm gonna just be real honest with this. She's a black woman.
Is it only because she a black woman?
Yeah.
Do you not see how that's a bad idea?
Elaborate.
We're in 3 proxy wars. She failed at the border. She has no policy, no record to stand on.
Okay, Anton, first of all, I think I've...
Before he even starts speaking, let me say my piece real quick, man. He's right, though. How you gonna just vote off of color? We did that with Obama. Real talk. We did that with Obama. Automatically, the black community was like, yo, this is how we moved. The black community was like, we gotta vote for Obama. We got to vote for Obama, regardless of what anybody's talking about. Even though, what's his name on the other side was trash. It was a blowout. He was trash compared to Obama. Mitt Romney was garbage. He was garbage. But everybody was voting for Obama. Everybody wanted him in there. The energy was crazy. The energy was different. But this is a completely different vibe. We just dealt with 4 years of what they have been doing for this entire country this entire time. We're in 2 wars. The economy is crashing. The stock market's crashing. Things are getting expensive out here in these streets. I mean, people are getting their loans paid off. Don't get me wrong. He got y'all vote. But he sure ain't got the rest of America's vote that probably didn't even go to school. Probably paid for school out of their own hard-working income. And now they got nothing out of it. That's the key thing y'all are forgetting. There's a whole nother demographic of people that do not agree with the policies that y'all give. Because it's not for them. At the end of the day, it's not for them. We're happy you guys got it. Don't get us wrong. People are happy that y'all don't have no more student loans. I'm not jealous of you for sure. Get yours. I wish I had student loans that could be forgiven. But a lot of people didn't go that route, so it's really not affecting us. And there's certain other things like the migrant crisis. Like, the migrant crisis is going crazy right now. There's so many millions, over 15 to 20 million people, they said, is coming into the United States this year alone. Listen, y'all, when I'm walking down the street or I'm not driving my car now in the streets of Brockton, Lowell, I see people on the side of the street selling mangoes and watermelon. Okay? It's real out here.
Forwarded that to 20 of my friends. That was such an awesome takedown. But tell us about that, because I saw some of the other participants like nervously drinking their Coke or whatever they were drinking. But tell us about your interactions with people who happen to be African American, who instinctively seem to go for Kamala because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely. I think it's unfortunate because the majority of my interactions is me being looked at as the bad guy because ultimately they think that I'm supposed to be on code, even though I know and they know that it's not in our best interest, in my family's best interest, in the country's best interest. And when we continue to play identity politics, the thing that they usually refer to is our previous history in electing people in office that ultimately even they will concede that they didn't have our best interests at heart. And so when I'm interacting with these people, often at times it's very difficult for them to step outside of being on code in order to do the thing that's even in their best interest. So I'm often looked at as a bad guy, but in reality, they know I'm telling the truth, and that's why it's so difficult for them to be able to convey and then debate what it is that I'm telling them, because they already know what the truth is. They're not unfamiliar with what it is that they experienced over the last 3.5 years. They're suffering, they don't have jobs, they have lower wages, they can't pay their bills. And so when they experience this, but it's very difficult for us as a community to then break away from the popular thing to do because they don't want to be a part of the cool kids club anymore.
Well, Stacey, I have to say that seems to sum it up. It's reflexive, and it takes a lot.
Yeah, he just broke that whole thing down. She gonna have little to say after this because Anton Daniels just tore the whole thing up. He took about a good minute to respond. He took his time and he did his thing.
A lot of courage. You know that. Of course, Anton knows that. I clerk for Justice Thomas. I mean, they're still beating him up all these years later. So it's a tough place to be, but it's factually the right place to be. So, Stacey, how do you handle this? And by the way, Kamala Harris behind in Georgia in the swing state poll average, I think by 4 points, 5 points, 6 points. So she's speaking in Atlanta. Lots of Kamala signs behind her. One white dude behind her. I see him. Stacey, thoughts on this?
You know, Laura, I think Anton hit the nail on the head. This is about policy, and no one, I don't care who you are, if you're a white woman, a black woman, it doesn't matter what your skin is. What matters is, how do these policies impact you? How does the policy of open borders and giving jobs to foreigners instead of Americans impact your bottom line? How does the double-digit inflation, which stacks up month after month, is cumulative, impact your bottom line? Can you still save money? Can you take a vacation? Can you buy that home? Can you upgrade? Can you move out of an apartment into a house? These are very real impacts. Anton described them well. And I think when I find people that only want me to address my life as if I get up every morning and say, what am I going to do today because I'm black? They don't understand me. I'm a human being. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm just somebody's mom on the radio. I'm just somebody's mom on Laura Ingraham tonight for the first time. Thank you. But I'm sitting here listening to Anton. He makes sense. And what makes sense to me is what the policy is, you know?
Well, okay, these are facts, okay?
Stacey is you could tell she's just a mother, she's a wife, she's chilling, she's cool in it. She's just an everyday American. Like the rest of us. She sees what's going on, she feels what's going on, and it don't look like she's impressed. She's not impressed with the Democratic Party. We understand. Like it's not cool what they're doing out here.
Into the image making of Kamala, even the New York Times today, and forgive me for not having the direct quote, but the New York Times today had to write a piece about Kamala's biographical transformation. And there was a piece about how her father, who's of Jamaican descent, he was a Marxist economist at Stanford, socialist Marxist economist at Stanford. He's still alive. Very controversial, but he's a tenured professor at Stanford University. That she never really talked much about him, that he's kind of a footnote in her biography. But then she leans into it, Anton, and President Trump spoke about this with me. She leans into it, I guess, for her political benefit.
Absolutely. And I think that identity politics is the play. When you don't have anything else to lean on, when you spent the majority of the time being absent, and then on top of that, you then advocated for being part of the alphabet community, which I call them, and then you failed at the border to the tune of the estimation of 10 to 15 million migrants coming into this country illegally. What else do you have to stand on? So then you start to lean on the thing that even black people, honestly, when I'm having these conversations, black people don't even consider her a part of the cool kids club, but they have to lean on it in order to have something to even be able to hold on to instead of just saying, hey, listen, Trump is the best candidate. They want to say that I want to be a part of the Democratic Party.
Nah, it's a fact though. They definitely are going to be some people that are just going to vote straight off of just the fact that she's black. That's a fact. They don't care. They don't care what you're talking about. They don't care what she done in her past. They don't care what policies she got in play. They see a black woman, they're going that way. That's it. That's it. That's what you call a non-informed voter, for sure. But if you actually look at the policies, actually look at the plays that she has done, even in San Francisco, if you look at her policies in the country and the state we're in, you have to look at and see what exactly has she been doing, or have they been doing in the last 4 years. You cannot just forget just because. We need to know who is the best person to run this country, for real. This ain't no game. This ain't a movie. This ain't none of that. This is real life. There's real wars going on out here. There's real death happening. There's real deals being made. We need the best person in office. And that's that. It's just that simple.
So they figure out a way to validate themselves to be a part of this movement, which is not even best for them. It's silly.
Stacey, a friend of mine who went to law school with me, just messaged me. We were told from the beginning that they couldn't argue the issues. And they know that Trump is better on the economy, better on defending our interests, better on the border, stopping illegal immigration. He won't drag us into war. So all they do is revert back to the childish games as we saw with the white dudes for Kamala. I mean, how pathetic is that? It's almost like it's I thought actually a conservative must have made that. I thought that whole Zoom was created by a conservative because it was
White dudes for Kamala. White dudes for Kamala. Are you serious? Are you serious? But then they make it about race when Trump says black job. They make it an issue when Trump says black jobs, but they can see white dudes for Kamala. It's a double standard, man. It's really extreme. Everybody is playing the race card. Everybody wants to know what a black job is. Everybody wants to know what a Hispanic job is. Everybody wants to know what a white job is. Y'all are American citizens. If you're an American citizen, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, Mexican, from Canada, it's very, very simple. Very, very simple. You can get any job you want. It's not that big of a deal to say, oh, it's a black job. Oh, it's a Spanish job. No, it's a job. Stop trying to say, what do you guys do for the black community? What do you guys do for the Spanish community? No, what are y'all doing for American citizens? What are y'all doing for people that go to work every day and can't afford to pay their rent? What are y'all doing? People are losing houses out here. People are losing their jobs. People are losing their cars. They're getting repoed. People are living out here on these streets. People are really struggling. Really struggling. And everybody's worried about what a black job is. What are you talking about? We ain't victims anymore. We ain't second-class citizens anymore. You can get any job you want if you work hard and if you have a skill that is actually needed. But you have to have a skill that people are desperate for. And you will always have a job. Always. Always.
It was so repulsive, but it was so funny. I think in one of the people speaking, I think a lot of the mail-in ballots were hidden. But it's a very strange. They think that helps them.
Yeah, they do. But I think, there are people in America whose incomes are such that these double-digit inflationary impacts don't really mean anything to them. They're insulated from the policy decisions they make in the ballot box. But for most Americans, that's not the case. And even if you are wealthy, if you care about your bottom line, if you're actually very frugal and you pay attention to your money, you don't want to see double-digit inflation. You don't want to see America sending $200 billion to Ukraine. You don't want to see boots on the ground, our own children spilling our blood and treasure abroad for something that we really have no interest in. And you really want to see some cogent domestic policy that prioritizes some of our very serious issues that we had, even coming out of the pandemic: homelessness, mental health crisis, health care. There are some things.
Hey, she's cooking. She's cooking. She's talking straight truth. She is cooking stuff that we actually care about, stuff that we actually need. What is going on? Let's talk about it.
We need to do.
I know, but Stacey, you're dealing in the realm of facts. When you actually see interviews, when people are pushed on this who are refusing to think differently, they'll say stuff like, well, but he's not going to be good on equity, right, Anton? Equity. He's going to disembowel equity. And what I say to folks is, how's all the equity of the last 3.5 years worked out for your communities? Illegal immigrants using your schools?
It's absolutely horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And it's so funny because, I've been seeing this whole movement, right, where they first leverage sororities and fraternities as far as the Divine Nine to try to include them in order to try to get her to be obviously presidential. I don't think that it's working because everybody that's in my community and the people that I speak with, especially black men, are even disappointed in white men in that why would you then follow white women who are extreme feminists and then let them follow black women in order to try to be a part of this cool kids club?
Oh my God.
When you can't stand on policy and you can't stand on real things that's going to help everyday Americans, especially those that are in these Democratic hellholes that are suffering the most. It's insane.
Stacey and Anton, fantastic first appearances on the Ingram Angle. Love having you on, and I'm going to try to get the man bun guy on the show. Okay, we'll see if he can actually.
Oh shoot! Shout outs to Anton, man. He definitely killed it just now. Definitely killed it. Yeah, y'all let me know y'all thoughts about that down in the comments below. It's your boy Dgotsauce, man. Shoot. Till next time.